Carmen, if I have someone living with me as a roommate, do I have to list them in my bankruptcy paperwork? This is kind of interesting, and I have a different theory on it, and I could be 100% wrong, but it's never proven to be that way so far. The question is, do you and your roommate commingle all your funds? In other words, I'm going to have to put stuff down. If you each totally separate, you each write a check for half the rent, you each write a check for half the electric, you each write a check for half the whatever other bills you have, the water bill. That's something different. That's kind of unusual. Normally what will happen is a situation where I'm going to write the check and my roommate gives me $500 a month to cover the rent, water, electric. Yeah, 500. How about $1,000 a month to cover the rent, water, electric? That goes in my account. Now, because that money is going into my bank account, the bankruptcy trustee is going to ask me questions saying, what's this $1,000 deposit every month? Well, that's from my roommate. Here, I pay half, they pay half, but they give me the money and I make sure the checks are written so it's never late. The rent's never late, this is never late, that's never late. That's easily explainable, and it happens a lot. The other position is where, you have a boyfriend, girlfriend who are sharing expenses and you're planning on getting married. You have to look at it both ways. Sometimes we file them and we say, yeah, we have a roommate, and the alternative is sometimes we file and we say, no, here's half the expenses, here's half the income, because everything is completely separated and there's no two in between. And then sometimes you have a husband and wife who've separated and they live apart, but because they're legally married, they can still file bankruptcy together. So then you have two household expenses, two incomes, and there might be child support issues in between. My goal is to give the trustee and the bankruptcy court the proper perspective. In other words, if I'm going to do a bankruptcy, there's nothing I want to hide. I don't want to play fast and loose with the rules. I want to go in and say, trustee, here's this. We have a roommate situation. My client only pays half the bills, and here's his half the bills and his personal expenses. Likewise, if we have a situation where there's a lot of joint stuff, then I ask the client, do you have a problem with disclosing this? Now, I'm not going to disclose the non-filing person's name, their social security number, any personal information, but I am going to say to the court, here's what we have. We have a situation, we have two people living here, we've got two incomes, we've got household expenses which are shared, but here's the perspective. And it's really only being fair to the court because you're the honest but unfortunate debtor and you're asking for relief. I want to make sure you get that relief with as little resistance as possible. If you play fast and loose with the rules or you're not forthcoming with information, the bankruptcy court has every reason to inquire into anything they want to, because if there's something that you may be hiding, they're allowed to ask about it. If there's something they don't know and you don't give them a full picture, they're going to ask about it. I can guarantee you they're going to ask about it. I say give everything to them. Give them enough that they can choke on it, but they're going to make a good decision. And this way, if there are questions, we answer them. I should have asked you all those questions first. Your attorney in my office should have asked you all those questions first. Say, did you pay back any loans to friends or family members? Yes, I did. I paid my mom back $600. Well, when did you do it? This is what an insider is. This is what happens with an insider. This is how we deal with the problem, and this is where we go from here. I want to get all that out on the table beforehand. I don't want anybody to sit at a creditors meeting saying, yeah, my attorney never asked me that, or my attorney didn't know anything about that. Am I sitting in the audience when that gets asked? I see that happen? Yes. When I go to creditors meetings, which not very often now, but when I used to go to them a lot, I'd see that all the time. And I'd say, can't really blame the client for that one. Got to blame the attorney. They should have asked those questions. So we put it all in writing, and my clients may think I ask way too much, but I do it because it's necessary. I want to know there's no surprises. Surprises is not something I'm a big fan of. I don't think any attorney likes surprises in their cases. Maybe a surprise birthday party, maybe not, but it's something to think about.